There's a lot of huge MMO projects that are currently in development that I feel the MMO community are waiting on to be the next big thing. Games such as Ashes of Creation, Chronicles of Illyria, Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, and Lost Ark, but those games are still a long way away. In this video, I want to talk about 3 new MMORPGs that we're highly likely to see fully released in 2018, just to give you guys something to look forward to. Crowfall. This is probably the most unique MMO coming out in 2018, and unlike the others on this list, it's a Western developed game. Crowfall is an MMO that describes itself as a throne war simulator, basically a mix between MMORPG and strategy game. When you first start Crowfall, you'll join a campaign which lasts several months, and at the end of it the world dies and is reset. Don't worry though, your progress isn't entirely reset, and you can store certain things you've achieved in your persistent player housing type area known as your Eternal Kingdom. The main focus of Crowfall is definitely PvP, and you can expect to find different factions fighting for control over different resources in the world, building castles and making siege weapons. This for me is the core reason why I'm excited for Crowfall. I love PvP MMOs, especially ones that give epic large-scale battles like castle sieges, and what's even more awesome about Crowfall is that the environment will be destructible, so you can destroy castle walls or even tunnel underneath them. When it comes to the combat, the game uses an action combat system with dodging, blocking, and combos, but unlike other games, the combat isn't so fast that you can't see what the hell's going on. It's a bit more slower paced, which allows you to react to your opponent and counter them. Crafting will also be a core feature to Crowfall and is tied very closely to its player-driven economy. You'll be able to craft armor, weapons, tools, siege weapons, and more. PvE content isn't something that's a huge focus in Crowfall at all, which I really don't mind personally. There'll be no instance dungeons or raids that'll give you the best gear in the game or anything. That stuff all comes from crafting. So if you're looking for a PvE raiding game, this definitely isn't it. That being said, the world won't be completely void of monsters either. The ones that do exist will be protecting valuable resources, and may require players to take them out before setting up a camp or harvesting whatever they're guarding. But overall, Crowfall looks like it's going to be a solid MMO. It's a player-driven PvP sandbox game with destructible environments, castle sieges, with stylized graphics in a dynamic world that resets over time. It's expected that Crowfall will be released towards the later half of 2018, however the game has been delayed quite a bit already in the past, so let's hope it's smooth sailing from here onwards. Ascent Infinite Realm. This is a new open-world MMORPG being developed in Unreal Engine 3 by Bluehole Studios, the same developers as Terra and PUBG. And whilst this game was only recently announced, it's actually a lot closer than you'd think, and has already had its first closed beta test in Korea. This MMO has a steampunk theme and gives players the ability to fly their own airships, use jetpacks, and fly with gliders. It's also an MMO that seems to be offering a mixture of both PvP and PvE content, with raids, dungeons, world bosses, mini-games, and large-scale PvP airship battles. The game will also offer player housing in the form of estates, which is also a welcome addition. I actually made a video talking about Ascent Infinite Realm a few weeks ago, but there was 2 things I was wrong about. The first being the game's combat system. It's tab targeting and not action combat, which I'm actually really surprised about considering this is the same developer that made Terra. Another thing I was wrong about is the classes in this game will not be gender locked. They're only gender locked in the beta, but on full release they won't be. But overall, Ascent Infinite Realm looks like a decent upcoming MMO that uses a traditional combat system, the Holy Trinity, gives both PvP and PvE content, player housing, and is set in a world with dragons, airships, and magic. My main concern with this game lies with its business model and optimization, but if they can get those things right, it could be a solid game. If all goes to plan, we should be expecting to see a full Western release, or at the very least an open beta of Ascent Infinite Realm towards the later half of 2018. Bless Online. This is an MMORPG I actually tried out almost 2 years ago. Initially it was going to be published in the West by Area Games, however they actually cancelled their publishing rights with the game's developer NeoWiz. Since then, NeoWiz announced they'd be self-publishing Bless Online in the West and fixing the the issues that players had with the game, such as the bad combat system and poor optimization. Whether or not they'll be successful though remains to be seen. Regardless of that, Bless Online is an open world fantasy MMORPG made in Unreal Engine 3. The game has 2 factions, uses a hybrid combat system, and has a mixture of both PvP and PvE content, including raids, dungeons, world bosses, and castle sieges. On top of that, the game also has a flying mount and pet collection system, amazing character customization, and lots of unique armor sets and weapons. Another pretty unique thing about the game too is that each race has its own starting area, kinda similar to how it is in World of Warcraft, which is really nice as not many MMOs do that these days. I think out of all 3 games mentioned in this video, Bless is the one I'm least excited about. I'll definitely give it a good try when it's released, however the game's already failed in both Korea and Russia, and I'm also worried it'll turn into another pay-to-win graveyard like Revelation Online. I'm also worried how the revised combat system for Bless will turn out. The last time I played it, I described this game's combat as one of the worst I've ever experienced, so it's certainly not an easy fix. Bless Online should be released on Steam during the first half of 2018 and actually has a lot of hype behind it already. Hopefully, it'll turn out to be a solid MMO. But that's pretty much it when it comes to MMOs that should be released in 2018. I also expect there'll be a few lesser known MMOs released. Maybe we'll even see Ashes of Creation start to take shape with some alpha tests. Hopefully Camelot Unchained, Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, and Chronicles of Illyria also make some good progress. And personally, I really hope to get more information or even a beta for a game called Project TL, which is the new Lineage game I'm looking forward to. By the looks of things, I think 2018 will be a better year for MMOs than 2017 because let's face it, we've had fuck all to be excited for all year. I think the only big MMO release we had was Revelation Online, which died pretty much instantly, so at least 2018 is looking a bit better. I hope you enjoyed the video though, guys. Something I actually wanted to ask was if there's any of you watching this video that either speak Korean or live in Korea, would you be able to help me get beta access to upcoming games such as Lost Ark, Ascent Infinite Realm, or Project TL? As someone that doesn't speak Korean, it's really hard to get access to these games to cover for YouTube, so any help is appreciated. Send me a message on Twitter or Discord if you can help. But thanks for watching, I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you again really soon.